Match number 7.
Mm-hmm.
We had John Cena, accompanied by Enzo and Big Cass,
Mm-hmm.
versus AJ Styles and the Good Brothers, Luke
Yep.
Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Carl
But
and yes.
yeah, but the big question of this match that I want to get your opinion on is
Mm-hmm.
why do you think Enzo Amore and Big Cass, like, their WWE run was really short? Why do you think that is?
I think because they were over. When they did their whole little shtick here live was fucking insane. Like these two cats were over, and again,
Yeah,
it's just um, I feel like this is when the everything that happened when people came up from NXT and things that worked in NXT showed that it didn't work on the main roster. But Enzo and Cass were one of the few things that were working, and they just didn't know how to still capitalize on that. They never won the tag team titles and NXT or on the main
never,
roster.
not like
I,
one
I
time
don't I don't
at
think they've
all.
ever I don't think they've ever
I
were
think
tag
I
team
think you're
champions.
right. Yeah,
I don't think, yeah, NXT, they were never tag team champions. They got over there. They brought them over to the main roster. They had tag team title matches, but they never won the tag team titles. And I just feel like they dropped the ball hard on them because these cats were over, like super over. And for the most part, they had a good little thing in the ring, where Enzo would get his ass whooped, Cass would come in, do his shit. But the thing is, they were still over, and the fact that they never got a run for the tag titles, but then they showed you how good Enzo was when he was the cruiserweight champion. Yeah, I just feel like there was like a weird. They just completely just fumbled, and I know a lot of people like to use that word, but I feel like they fumbled them as a team like really really hard. So, and
yeah, dude.
I think that's where it kind of like fell off for them. But Enzo did a good job when he was the cruiserweight champion because he was that fucking annoying heel that kept winning, and then I don't know what happened. Well, I don't remember what happened with Enzo, but Cass was also a big guy that just never, for some reason, never got over as a big guy on his own because he definitely had Enzo as a mouthpiece, but they
Yeah,
got fumbled as a team. So yeah, definitely they
no, they
fumbled them
did,
hard.
and like after seeing this match at the
Mm-hmm.
2016 Battleground,
Mm-hmm.
the 6-man tag team match with Big Cass, Enzo, John
Mm-hmm.
Cena versus the Good Brothers and AJ
Mm-hmm.
Styles.
Yeah.
Enzo Amore, he was like bumping all over the place. He was like
Yes.
how did you feel about Enzo Amore's wrestling ability during this time? Because I feel like he felt like I hate to say it, but like kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a jobber a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I feel like most of his matches, he definitely got the ass whooping part of it. I mean, he was okay. Like he got that when he would get beat up, but he got that baby face sympathy. But I feel like he never went full jobber because he was still over with the crowd. And I just feel like they never categorized him as that, but he did. He bumped like a jobber, and then that's what like when Big Cass would come in and kind of finish everything off. But yeah, I mean I because I don't remember. He hasn't. I haven't watched his wrestling in a while, but I mean, he was okay. But definitely, he was a bumping machine when he was a babyface. But again, I'm not gonna go back and say, oh, they're my favorite team or he's my favorite wrestler. But again, he was. They were still over, but he was okay in the ring. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Moving on to the next segment, Jay. This is one of my favorite segments out of this whole
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-view. And this wasn't even a wrestling match. This was
No.
fucking a talk show. This was a highlight reel with
Yes.
Chris Jericho.
Uh huh.
Y2J Chris Jericho.
Yep.
And you know, man, when I was rewatching this, I was like, man,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho was so good back then. He was so entertaining. He
Yeah.
was such a good ass heel. And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, people are like wishing for Chris Jericho to retire.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people are like, I can't stand that fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Yeah.
like, Jericho, please retire. Jay, are you one of those fans that wishes Jericho could retire?
Uh, I feel like yes and no. If he can physically still go in the ring, by all means, that's not me to say. Do I enjoy watching him on TV like I used to? No, I don't. I feel like what Jericho's thing is now is like he picks on what the fans find annoying of him, and then he tries to turn up the volume, which it just annoys people even more. Um, I just don't enjoy watching him like I used to. Definitely, he was better at the beginning, but now it's just like he just picks on what fans complain about, and then he uses that, and I think it just turns them off even more. If do I think he should retire? Look, that's all up to him. His wrestling is not getting any better in the ring. He's not as good as he used to be. I'm sorry, but he's not. And you can see it though. Like when you can see it in a wrestler, in my opinion, that's like you got to start hanging it up now. Um, but he's not my favorite person to watch on TV right now. So I'm just gonna say that. Do I think he should retire? That's definitely an him decision. But I don't tune into AEW to watch Chris Jericho. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Well, this segment was Chris Jericho's highlight reel,
Yep.
and his special guest at this 2016 Battleground pay per view was
Hmm.
Randy Orton. And the
Yes.
whole the whole point of the segment was to hype up the match between Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. During this time, Randy Orton just returned from a ninth month hiatus
Yeah.
after suffering it was a shoulder injury,
Hmm.
and Chris Jericho was so entertaining during this segment, hyping up
Yes.
Brock Lesnar, and you can't, beat the beast Brock Lesnar, and you're not gonna
Hmm.
RKO Brock Lesnar. You're not gonna RKO me, and Randy Orton ended up getting the last laugh, and ended
Hmm.
up RKOing Chris Jericho
Yeah.
in a very very entertaining segment, and again it just goes back to this didn't really feel like a pay per view segment, did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't. It was definitely a a talking segment, which is a very TV